What's up, guys? Welcome to take 8 of this Raszageth video. Kind of meme and kind of not. This has been actually a rough one to make, guys, so I hope you guys like it. Today we have a video of World of Warcraft Dragonflight, and this is going to be our Raszageth kill that we did with the guild. This is our first kill with the guild here, and it was a fantastic fight. Kind of came out of nowhere. To be honest, the previous pools we were nowhere close to getting it completed, and then just out of nowhere we had this incredible run where we were able to pull it all together and just get it done. You know, it just happened. I don't know how else to explain it other than it just happened. So let's get over into the fight and take a look. I'm going to try to pause and go over the mechanics of this fight, so that way people who are struggling with the fight can maybe have a better opportunity of getting through it themselves, getting those rewards, getting maybe the Raszageth mount drop or the skin drop for your Dragonflight mount anyway, and and some volt progression and all that jazz, some juicy loot, maybe the bow. You got any hunters? You definitely want to be killing Raszageth. I believe she drops the bow, right? So we need that. So we're in our pre-phase here. You can see the arena is set up kind of like a clock. So you have your 12, 3, 6, and 9 positions. At the 12 o'clock position that we don't have any markers on, there is a platform on the other end of that where you will be fighting later in the fight. At the moon and diamond markers, you can see that there are there are going to be platforms on the other sides of those also, where your raid will need to be split up into 2 groups, and you obviously want to have that split up as evenly as possible with tanks, healers, and DPS, because there's mobs over on each platform that need to be killed at a similar time. It's not imperative that they all die. Your left and your right platforms kill everything exactly at the same time, but you do want to have it as close as you can. Make sure everybody's getting back onto the platform to fight the boss around the same time. So we have our countdown starting here, and we are going to just go in and start punching the boss as hard as we can, because there are no mechanics as a melee DPS that we really need to worry about that are too challenging. So she drops the pulls on the ground that are really easy to dodge. Just don't stand in them, and you'll see she's getting ready to do her static charge. Now I'm going to try to pause this here when she does it. There we go. So you can see 3 people get the static charge debuff on them, and it's going to cause this big blue circle ring to go out around them. And if you have deadly boss mobs and weak auras and all that jazz, you're going to get an icon above your head. It's going to tell you exactly where to go, and you go to that area at the edge of the map and you drop your little circle off at the edge of the map. Now this does raid-wide damage, this little circle, the big circle that they have around them. So you need to get this away from the raid as soon as you possibly can. It's based on proximity, so you want to get to the edge of the map as fast as you can, and you want to drop these off at the usually 5, 6, and 7 o'clock positions, so that way there's a little wall behind the players, because when these bombs do go off, these rings, when they go off, they do leave a little patch of area on the ground that is like a static cloud, and what that is going to do is it's going to stop you from getting blown off the edge in future phases. So it's important to have these positioned correctly, and if they don't get positioned correctly, it's important that you know where they are, so that way you can get blown back into them and not off the edge and die, because that's the easiest way to wipe in here, is to get blown off the edge. So they're going to go back to the edges of the map. You see, I'm going to push forward a little bit because I want to be as far away from them as possible, because I want our healers to not have to heal as much damage as possible. So there we go. She did her big beam attack, which is very clearly indicated. Just don't stand in the big beam of energy. It'll kill you. I don't think that's very challenging. She does Hurricane Wing here, which is going to be a knockback. There it goes. See, and we get knocked back straight into that little pool on the ground, which stops us from going off the edge. So here we just hop right back in and start doing damage to the boss. 3 more people get the debuff on them. They're going to go drop these off at their appropriate positions. And that's all you really need to do. There we go. Here comes the breath. So this is just a rinse and repeat of what we've already done, right? It's very simple. Don't get hit by the breath. Don't stand in the puddles on the ground, and be ready for the knockback. You see here, I make sure I line myself up correctly because I wasn't really familiar with where I was right there. And we get knocked back. I do a little chi blast to try to help with a little bit of healing for the healers. It's not much, but every little bit counts. and I go back in and start doing my little DPS rotation. Now this part is very important. I'm going to try to pause here. There we go. So you can see here, everybody gets a volatile spark ad in front of them. You don't have to damage this ad. What you need to do is you need to kick it in some sort of way. So kick, ring of peace, sleep, fear, like any of those things will get rid of these volatile sparks, and every single person gets a spark on them, I'm pretty sure, and they all need to be kicked. So everybody needs to deal with their own mechanic here. If you don't deal with it, there's a very good chance you're going to wipe your raids. It's very important. So we can take care of ours right away, and you can actually kind of see that our F key down at the bottom in our bar is already highlighted. We're in the middle of starting our kick, which is going to get rid of it, and we go back in, start punching the boss again. Get out of the pool of damage, and get ready for the Hurricane Wing coming up. Here we go. I'll probably check behind me here to make sure I'm lined up correctly. Good job, camera. Raszageth right in the way. We still got it. Get rid of, or get out of the way of the breath so you don't get hit by that. Static charges go down, but it doesn't matter because we are into the next phase. Now, remember, this is what I was talking about with the 3 and 9 o'clock positions. We split our group up into groups 1 and 3 go one direction, groups 2 and 4 go on the other side. And our groups are just splitting up right now. See, we all go over to this purple diamond and get ready for the knockback onto this other platform. Now, Raszageth's going to bounce back and forth between these two platforms, left and right, and she's going to do her breath attack down the middle of it and try to kill you guys. There's also 3 ads that spawn on each platform. On ours here, we're taking down our first one. It's going to spawn littler ads coming up next to it here, and you need to just burst them all down. You see her breath is coming down, and our tank very nicely rotates the ad away from the breath. And then we're going to rotate clockwise after this ad is dead, and we're going to move on over to the next one. Rinse and repeat for this. I save a bit of my AoE attacks, waiting for the ads to come out here. There we go. Her breath is coming down, so the tank rotates the group away from the breath. There we go. And now we're going to move on over to the third ad and just do the same thing all over again. I think I get a couple kicks in on this guy here to make sure he dies before we get over there. Now we had a little bit of miscommunication on this one, I'm pretty sure, as her breath is coming down. Oh no, this one was done correctly. Oh, this is, okay, yeah, so we got hit by the thing there. So the AoE is a bit larger than what it kind of looks like it's coming down as. So we did take damage there. It was, obviously didn't wipe the raid. Nobody died, but our healers probably, had a little bit of a conniption fit when we got hit by that. There we go. So we kind of greed here with killing these ads. When she says die immortals, that means the breath is coming down the middle. But we knew we could kill the ad and get back to the main platform before the breath hit us. Now she's going to come back to the middle here, and we're going to get some free damage on her. And you'll see that we have 2 markers here. Now this is not the main platform that we were fighting on before. This is the 12 o'clock platform that we were talking about. You see here we have 2 markers, which is the red and blue. And what's going to happen is she's going to give half of the raid positive charge and the other half a negative charge. And you have to stack up on your charge. So all the positive go to one side, all the negative go to another side, and you get a huge damage buff if everybody is stacked up correctly. So you save all of your cooldowns because, as you can see here, in front of her life bar is a little bit of a shield bar. You have to get rid of that shield bar before the Storm Surge timer ticks down. You see we have 15 seconds left, and we're going to clear it with a ton of time here. We have plenty of damage to get this done. But if you don't get it done in time, the raid wipes. So there's no specific mechanic here where you can mess up. It's just do damage. The only way to mess up is to not do enough damage. I guess you can mess up by not standing on your group correctly. But I mean, that's so basic. Everybody should be able to do that. Tempest Wing comes in. I instinctively look behind me because of the normal knockback that she does, where you have to look for the cloud. But this knockback is different, where you just have to roll back into her. 3 people get bombs on them, obviously stand out of the big circle, and deal damage to the boss. Very, very simple mechanics here. It's just don't stand in the stuff that looks like it's going to hurt you, and deal damage to the boss. This is a volatile current. We did this earlier, right? Everybody's going to get the ad that they have to kick. There we go. See how fast we kicked ours and just get right back into the fight. Very important to do that as fast as you can. Penta swing coming in. We roll right through it. We had that was kind of like some iframe timing there. Storm surge coming in. This is the positive and negative mechanic again. So here we go. Everybody gets their charge. Go over to your group and blow all your cooldowns to get through the shield. There it is. I did use my my tiger there, which I probably shouldn't have, to be honest, because I did it because I knew that we were in the DPS phase, and I wasn't actually looking at her health bar. But her shield was almost gone when I hit it, so it wasn't really necessary. I used my Ring of Peace to get rid of that volatile current there because my kick was still on cooldown. There we go. I'm going to teleport back up using my Transcendence there. Get out of the ring. Punch the boss. And we're going to start getting into a mechanic here that is actually a little bit more challenging and requires a bit of teamwork here. So once we get through this phase and the Volt Integrity reaches 0%, she's going to summon a big ad. Now this big ad needs to be killed, obviously as fast as possible, but it's not super imperative that you nuke him right away. You still want to deal as much damage as you can to him. But the real hard part is that he is going to spawn littler ads that are hell-bent on getting to him. So the thing that you have to do is prevent that from happening. Whether it's by bursting them down as soon as they spawn, or if you do it by CCing them repeatedly as you're whittling them down, whatever the case may be, you do not want to let the little ads get to the big ad. I'm pretty sure they give like a healing and damage buff, which is irrecoverable. So you want to make sure that that's happening. So here you go, you have the big ad coming up, the Colossal Storm Fiend. You deal damage to him. If Raszageth is up in the air, that means that she's probably getting ready to do a lightning attack on you guys, so you got to be careful. This is a ball lightning attack. I did forget to discuss this, but I mean, it's really simple. The balls just come out at a staggered rate, and you don't get hit by them. There's the beam, you dodge that. There's the ads coming out. We get the leg sweep on them. We beat them down with the AoE attacks. They go down pretty quickly, and we try to get back onto the boss with as much focus as we can. He rinse and repeats with the ball lightning here. There we go.
Watch your step.
And Stormbreak is coming, which is what spawns the little ads. Now, we did run into a little bit of a position here. You see where she was charging up her breath right as the ads spawned. So we couldn't stay on the ads right away, but our other monk was able to put down a Ring of Peace right in front of where they spawned, so that way they kind of didn't move anywhere. Navigate very carefully through the pools here, because honestly, damage is very important, but staying alive is more important. So I'd rather take a little bit longer to get back to the ad than try to YOLO through all those pools and take unnecessary damage. Now I did make a mistake here. As you see, I'm getting knocked back into nothingness here. So you had to stack up at the 6 o'clock position to get knocked back over to the original platform, and I didn't do that. Though luckily for me, nobody had died up until this point, so there was plenty of B-reses available for me to get as soon as one becomes available here. There you go. Now this fight is a pure DPS check. Again, this is the final phase of the fight, and you can see here on the outside of the arena there is a static electricity debuff on the ground. It deals damage, obviously, as everything on the ground does. The thing about that now is it's slowly closing in to the center of the arena. So what's going to happen here is if we don't kill Raszageth fast enough, that debuff is going to come in and it's going to kill us all. That's essentially what that is. So you really do have to have the correct DPS to be able to get through this fight. And if you don't have it, you just don't have it. That's all there is to it. You got to get higher item level. You got to get your rotation down better. You got to, you know, get your timings down better, whatever the case may be, because that debuff will encroach in on you and you will die. Now, she still does her breath attack here. You just have to dodge it. Very simple. And there is still the 3-ring mechanic. There it is. It pops up right there, so you just get out of that. Now, obviously, as that debuff comes in, there's less room for the people with the rings to run. So you do have to make sure that your positioning is correct to try to take the least amount of damage of that as you possibly can. And it may you may have to pop some personals, and maybe you do have to walk into that debuff and take a little bit of damage, but it shouldn't be anything too crazy.
The might of the storm falls upon you.
See, you know, we got her under the threshold here, so now I can use my Touch of Death, which is a ton of damage coming in from that. And we just have to just fully burst her down. You see her health is going down pretty quick now. Everybody sees that we're down into the 10 million range, and we know that that's enough. We can get the kill here. Everybody gets excited, and we just pump her down as fast as we can. 9 mil, 8 mil, 7, 6, 5. I'm writing my nose here, guys, while she's dying. 3, 2.
This is it right here. Beautiful,
and
boys.
1 million
Beautiful.
life left. Bada bing, bada boom.
Love to see it.
That is the clear there. Now, that's not the end for this fight. It's the end of the fight, but you do have a great cutscene that comes up here. We are going to take a look at that.
It is done. We stopped her.
Keep looking. It's probably at the bottom.
I don't know what I was saying that in reference to.
No. The damage is too
So you can see here, if you scoped out the arena before the fight started, you can see these big orbs that were above her. And they break open.
Ooh.
If there's one thing I've learned from all the battles I've fought, it's that no matter how dark things get,
I didn't finish watching the cutscene
never
there.
lose hope.
What is wrong with me? I guess I was just so excited to get back to my loot. I didn't finish watching the cutscene. Anyway, here, I will sum it up for you guys. So the other incarnates, they break out of their imprisons, and they are free. So you've seen you had the fire and the ice one, and then there is also the third one, which is stone or rock or earth, whatever the indication is there. And they pretty much say you're going to pay for what you've done to old Raszageth there. Now, Raszageth was a very ferocious dragon, very hell-bent on revenge, and probably not thinking very clearly, and thought that you know, they could just run rampant. Now, the rest of them, seeing what happened to Raszageth, they're going to go hide. They're going to go get all of their power back, and they're going to come back in future raids probably, and they're going to be a force to be reckoned with, stronger than Raszageth ever was, and probably a lot smarter too. Now you can see here that our hunter did get the bow drop. So Enemy of the Sky, that is the rare drop from Raszageth specifically for the hunters. We did get 2 pieces of Tear and a Spiteful Storm. Now, unfortunately for me, I didn't get any of this loot. So that was sad boy for me. But honestly, my item level is doing pretty okay. The rest of the guild can make better use of it anyway, to be completely honest. I'd rather it go to the people who need it. I do have my 2-piece set already, so it's not, you know, getting 1 more tier piece right now is not, you know, it's not game breaking for me. But I do want to get that taken care of here very shortly. But guys, that's the Raszageth fight. I feel like you know, seeing those mechanics there, you guys should be able to go back, maybe pause on the mechanics and see exactly how those things are working, and you know, you can see exactly how to get through those mechanics there for your raid here in the future. So guys, if you guys have any questions about that, just let me know in the comments above, and I will do the best I can to answer any of those questions for you. I hope everybody's having a great day. I'll see you guys later. Adios, muchachos.